What's going on, guys? Trent here. Welcome back to the Hot Seat of College Football Show. I wanted to try something fun tonight, so we're going to do a 2026 mock draft. This is being recorded a couple days before Conference Championship weekend, and I finally found a website that allows free trade, so let's just get straight into this video. Alright, so here is the draft board. Obviously, the standings for this are currently for what the NFL standings are right now. This is subject to change, and luckily with trades, we're going to be able to sort this out. So let's start off with the Tennessee Titans. So Tennessee's needs is O-line and cornerback. Honestly, when I look at this, I see, okay, your best needs is O-line and cornerback. You could go best player available and do Ruben May and Arvell Reese, but knowing where quarterbacks are drafted, I think Tennessee would trade. So I think I got to start. It. Okay, I think we started it now. So let's trade. So let's trade Tennessee, and let's trade. Where do we want to trade back? Let's trade with New Orleans. We'll give New Orleans the number 1 overall pick. Tennessee. This is the first time I've done this. I'm trying to figure this out. So Tennessee will trade with New Orleans. Where are you? There we go. Trade 1-1, 1-3. For some reason, it won't let me do 1-1 trades, but we're only doing the first round. So there. So New Orleans with the first overall pick. I think they're going to go best quarterback available, and I think Fernando is going to be second in Heisman. I think Stan's going to win, but obviously he's not draft eligible. So we're going to go Fernando Mendoza with the number 1 overall pick. Then the New York Giants, they don't need a quarterback. I think they're going to trade with the Raiders. So I got to go, where are the Giants at? Where are you at? Giants and Las Vegas. And then, whatever. There we go. So, all right, round one. There we go. So I think they're also going to go quarterback. I think they're going to go Dante Moore. I think these are going to be your first 2 overall picks. It's going to be a weird, because these guys aren't the best players in the sport. I think that's pretty clear. But I just think it's best guys available for quarterbacks. So that brings us to Tennessee with pick 3. I think they're going to go player available, which is going to be Arvell Reese at 3. New York at 4. I could see them also trading backs, and they don't need a quarterback, so we'll do that with the Browns. Actually, no, the Browns are stupid. They don't know what they're doing. We'll trade back with, we'll do it with the Jets. We'll trade New York with the New York Jets. If I could find them. New York Jets. Boom. Whatever, throw a second round in there. Jets with pick 4. I think they're going to go Ty Simpson. And I think that'll leave Cleveland at pick 5 with a little bit of a precarious situation where there's no quarterbacks left. So they're probably going to go throughout free agency, which I think is probably going to be Kirk Cousins. I'm not super well versed in NFL, but I think I know enough, especially with my Cleveland Browns. So Cleveland, they need everything. I will say they are struggling on the offensive line. So we saw Will Campbell go really high in the draft last year. I could see a guy like Spencer Fano or Francis Mauigoa go pretty high. Cleveland, they need guard and tackle. And out of these 2 guys, I think Francis Mauigoa could probably translate to a guard better than Spencer Fano. I don't know for sure. I don't want to just trade everybody back because that's not really super realistic. So I'll keep Cleveland at 5. They also needed quarterback, receiver, guard, tackle, and cornerback. I don't think Gerard McCoy is going to go this high. He hasn't played. Name one NFL player that was a first-round draft pick and didn't play for an entire year because of a really bad injury and then stayed top 10. No, you've never seen that before, so don't even act like it. So I think we could go Ruben Bain, could go Caleb Downs. I don't think the safety would ever go that high. Kendrick Falk, I don't think they need him. So I'm actually going to go Spencer Fano at 5. At 6 is Washington. They need edge rusher, DB, and guard. I don't think 2 offensive linemen are going to go top 10, at least now. They need edge and DB. And look at the best edge rusher available. That's Kedrick Falk. I could see him going, God, this is really high for him. Usually he's like 10 to 15 range. I don't know about 6. But, I mean, you could go receiver with Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate. Terry McLaurin is kind of getting up there a little bit in age. He's kind of mid-late 20s. Once they kind of get to those 30s, it's a little bit So for Commanders, I'm trying to think what Commanders struggle with. They've really struggled with injuries this year. So just because of what they need, I'll go Kedrick Falk. That is really high for him. Giants at 7. I've seen a lot of people put Carnell Tate to the Giants. I don't know if I want that because of how bad their turf is. And with them having Malik Neighbors, I'm not just gonna do it just because I don't want to send. I'm gonna play operator a little bit. I'm not sending Carnell to that garbage field at MetLife. So guard, tackle. We'll go Maligoa. We'll throw him up there. Whatever. I don't care. Get these garbage. I don't want to send my teams. And then we got the Arizona Buckeyes, my favorite team in the not my favorite team in the NFL, but they do have a billion Buckeye players, so it would only make sense if I send my boy Carnell Tate to the Cardinals at number 8. At 9 is the Rams. It says they need quarterback. I mean, like, I get Matthew Stafford's getting up there, but I could see this is where. Like, this is kind of like where this isn't a great cornerback class. Like, the best one's Jahad McCoy, and he's been injured all year. And then the next one is Varian Terrell, but Clemson's defense has been horrible. And then another Tennessee, and Tennessee defense has been terrible. So, this is a very lackluster cornerback draft. So, I could see best player available. They lost Aaron Donald. A couple years ago. So I'm just going to go plus player available. We're going to go Ruben Bain. He's going to fall a little bit. But just look at these. I mean, obviously all the quarterbacks are going to go first, and then you need some, whatever. Browns don't need an edge rusher. Washington, I guess maybe I should have put, maybe I should have put Ruben Bain over Kedrick Falk. Crap. Shit. I kind of forgot about that. But who cares? See, the drafts never go how you think they're going to go anyways. Bengals at 10. I already know who I'm picking for this one. This is Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs going to the Bengals. Their defense is terrible. Get the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser in there. At 11 is the Vikings, who need a safety, but they also need a running back, and that's where we're going to send Jeremiah Love to the Vikings to help out 9. The worst quarterback since Jamarcus Russell. At 12 is Miami. They need receiver, guard, linebacker, and cornerback. Obviously, with them phasing out Tyreek Hill, they also lost Jalen Ramsey. They traded him to the Steelers. But again, I'll just go best player available. So we'll go Jordan Tyson to the Dolphins. I also don't expect the Dolphins to make competent draft choices. So we'll just send him another receiver. Next one is the Chiefs. Chiefs need running back, guard, edge, cornerback. I could see Jeremiah Love falling to the Chiefs. I don't think that right now the Chiefs are at 13. I doubt they're going to have this high of a draft pick. So a running back, guard, edge, cornerback. They could go David Bailey. Could go TJ Parker. Cassius Howell. I don't think Cassius Howell is consistent enough. We'll go best player available. We'll go Peter Woods. This is like straight like what makes Mel Kiper. I'm not gonna finish with that. Let's just say this is what Mel Kiper dreams about. Just straight chalk. Best player available constantly. Don't ever go off of team fits. Just draft the best player. So we got Peter Woods at 13. Obviously, Chris Jones is getting older, and Steve Spagnuolo, I bet, would love having another monster. Steelers, they need quarterback, receiver, tackle, and cornerback. I could see them drafting a receiver just because they need a second one. But to be honest, they really need a quarterback. And this is kind of unfortunate because there's not really any quarterbacks left. There's Lenora Sellers. So since there's not really anything available the Steelers want, we're going to trade. Let's trade back with... Who do we want to trade with? Let's trade with the Brownies. Yeah, let's do the Brownies. I don't know why. Trade the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh. And then we say the Brownies. We're Cleveland. 26. Whatever. All right. Cleveland's your backup. So what did we draft? What did we draft Cleveland earlier? Spencer Fano, so tackle. So they need receiver. Jerry Jeudy's been absolutely buns. So I don't know about Malachi Lemon. How big is Malachi Lemon? Lemon height. 5'11". Yeah, I don't really know. I feel like they kind of want a bigger receiver. Who else do we got? Denzel Boston is a very big receiver. I'm surprised Jacoby Lane's not that high. I always thought Jacoby Lane was kind of I thought he was a really good prospect. Maybe he fell off. We'll go Malachi Lemon. We'll do it. He's the best receiver available. Carolina can go a multitude of different ways. They can go receiver, guard, edge, or linebacker. Bryce Young has been pretty good this year. The Panthers' defense, let me see how they've been doing. The offensive field has been pretty good. A lot of it just is their defense sometimes, but they can score. So we're gonna go. Who do we want to go? So they don't need corner, linebacker, or edge. Who's the linebackers available? Sonny. Oh, we're picking Sonny, bro. Sonny Styles going back to play with Lathan Ransom. Hopefully locked down a little bit more in Carolina. Dallas at 16. They need linebacker, defensive line, or tackle. We'll keep a guy in Texas. We'll send them DJ Bailey. Detroit next. What does Detroit want? Corner, tackle, interior defensive line, or cornerback? Well, we got Mansour Delane and Jahad McCoy. And I guess it really just depends who would get drafted first. LSU hasn't been great. Tennessee's been a little bit better. But, Jahad McCoy hasn't played. And just because he hasn't played, I will put Mansour Delane over him. Houston, y'all need offensive line. You're picking the dude from Penn State. This is one of the best guards, interior offensive linemen in the entire country. Ravens next. They need receiver, guard, interior defensive line, or linebacker. I could see them going receiver because of Lamar. His receivers are buns, absolute ass, and all the top guys are kind of off the board. There is Chris Bell is a very good receiver. Chris Brazzell's also very good. But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking sending them Denzel Boston, to be honest. Well, I don't know. Would he go at 19 though? 19's really high. Do they have a pick later in the first round? No, I think they'll trade back because there's not really anything this high that they need to pick for. Let's have them trade back with who's stupid in the NFL? The Bears. The Bears are really stupid. We'll have them trade back with the Bears. Where's Baltimore? Where are you at? Baltimore, and then Chicago. Ooh, they have. We'll give them the Browns next year's first round pick. So what? That means Chicago's up. All right, Chicago, you're up. Which I can't believe they're the 1 seed in the NFC. That's not going to stay. But running back, defensive line, and linebacker. Running back, defensive line, and linebacker. What running backs are available? Can I search by position? I can. So Jonah Coleman, Justice Haynes, Jadarian Price, Emmett Johnson. Why is it? Man, these guys fell off. Why is Emmett Johnson that low? Well, that's not a good option. CJ Allen I could see going, and then what was the other one they need? Defensive line. Caden McDonald to the Chicago Bears. Well, the Caden McDonald's more of a run stopper than like a pass rusher. So, just for versatility, we'll go CJ Allen to the Bears. At 20 with the Bucks. Bucks really struggle on defense. They could do an edge rusher or a linebacker. I could also see them going Kenyon Sadiq. Edge rusher or linebacker. TJ Parker. And then linebacker. We just drafted. So I could see them going between Kenyon Sadiq and TJ Parker. And their offense scores enough. So we'll go TJ Parker to the Buccaneers. Buffalo is up next. They need edge rusher, linebacker, and DB. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm actually not going to go defense. I think Josh Allen needs more weapons. I'm feeling Denzel Boston. Denzel Boston to the Buffalo Bills. Eagles at 22. They could go multiple ways. It says they don't need receiver. A.J. Brown might leave, but they still have Devontae Smith. Guard. I could edge and cornerback. They did release like a lot of their secondary. I think this is where Howie Roseman makes a smart decision and picks up Jahad McCoy. At 23, the New York Wreck quarterback. They already had a pick. What was their pick? I think they picked up a quarterback, right? Ty Simpson. So Ty Simpson, he has weapons on offense. I think they really need weapons on defense, but I could see them going Kenyon Sadiq or Cassius Howell. I think the Jets are really stupid. They're not going to make a smart decision about picking stuff on offense. So I think they're going to go Kenyon Sadiq. I think Kenyon Sadiq will go play with Ty Simpson, and that'll bring us to the 49ers at 24. They need center, tackle, edge, and safety. Well, I think this is where we could see Caden Proctor go. So, best player available, we'll go Caden Proctor. The Fighting Jim Harbaughs. I hate this team so much, and I hate their coach so much, bro. There have been injured on the offensive line. I think they'll be healthier. They could edge or safety. Who's left on edge? Mateo Oyunglele. This one's kind of tough. Because there's like no one really, aside from Caleb Downs, at safety that I would want in the first round. So it's between like, you're never going to pick a center in the first. Does it even let me? No, it does. Where's interior offensive line? Emmanuel Prague. This is gross. Jake Slaughter. I'm surprised he fell that much. So we'll go Cassius Howell. I think he could be a game wrecker for the Chargers. Pittsburgh. I think this is when they traded back. What does Pittsburgh need? Quarterback, receiver, tackle, cornerback. Do they already have a pick? No, they traded back. Okay. Quarterback, receiver, tackle, cornerback. They do need tackle. They could Caleb Lomu, but Do I want the second tackle from Utah? I don't really know. Well, like, they signed Jalen Ramsey, but that really feels like a 1-year deal thing. I do think they need quarterback. I think they'll draft Lenora Sellers. And I think we'll all be asking, kind of like with Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck last year, it's like, why are they going so early in the draft? And I think they will overcommit and make kind of a dumb draft with Lenora Sellers that early. At 27's Dallas, tackle, linebacker, and defensive line. I could see Caden McDonald go. Does anybody else need... I don't know if Caden's going to go this high. Their defense is so bad. So I'll go Caden McDonald at 27. He'll be a Cowboy. I think he's from Texas. I actually don't know. I think he might be, though. Seahawks at 28. What do y'all need? Center, guard, linebacker, cornerback. Well, their offense seems fine enough. So, linebacker or cornerback. We'll go best player, Varian Terrell. I have not really watched him, but they say they're high, so I'll trust the thingy. Rams now. This is after I think they traded back, or maybe they had a second pick. Quarterback, guard, tackle, cornerback. Did they have a second pick? They did. They took Ruben Bain. So they already have defensive line. So I could see them going tackle. Yeah, we'll go tackle. We'll go Caleb Lomu. This player available. The Broncos. Y'all need more weapons on offense. And Concepcion. Concepcion's above Chris Bell. I would probably take Bell over Concepcion. Concepcion's inconsistent, bro. Running back, they have J.K. Dobbins. I hope he stays. Tight end, there's no tight ends left, I don't think, right? Max Clare's coming back. Y'all ain't getting him. Eli Sowers fell in the draft. He was like the best tight end, I thought. Center, no, you're not going to draft a center in the first round. So, linebacker is looks like maybe the best available. And I'm going to be honest, Anthony Hill's pretty high. You could go best player available. Best offensive players, Concepcion and Chris Bell. I don't really trust them. But linebackers, defense, I'm going to be honest. If I had to choose between... Do they need tackle at all? They do need tackle. These tackles are kind of gross. Do they have any fits? I don't like this at all. This is kind of gross. Denver. We'll go Concepcion just because he's proven more than Chris Bell. Ravens at 31. The Ravens, what do they need? Receiver, guard, defensive line, linebacker, receiver. You could go Chris Bell here just because Lamar went to Louisville. They are missing Jair Alexander. The Ravens are. And their defense is okay, but Mateo Ungela, he's not a defensive tackle. Moy Washington is. We'll go Chris Bell at 35. A little bit overdraft. And then the Patriots at 32. Guard, tackle. They could just obviously keep upgrading that offensive line. And then edge and cornerback. And I'm trying to look at really what else could help them. I was thinking receiver. And that's 3 street receivers. But I don't know if Stephon Diggs is going to be there next year. I'm going to be honest with the Patriots. Our Mason Thomas is being overlooked so much right now. But we'll go Mateo Ungela. Best player available. How do I save? What do I do? I don't know what happened. All right, here we go. So at 1, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore at 2, Arvell Reese at 3, Ty Simpson 4, Spencer Fano 5, Kedrick Falk 6, Francis Maligoa at 7, Carnell Tate at 8. He's going to be paired up with all the other Buckeyes and Marvin Harrison. Ruben Bain at 9, Caleb Downs at 10, Jeremiah Love 11, Jordan Tyson 12, Peter Woods 13, Malachi Lemon at 14, Sonny Styles 15, DJ Bailey 16, Mansour Delane 17, the guard from Penn State at 18, CJ Allen at 19, TJ Parker at 20, Denzel Boston 21, Jihad McCoy 22, Kenyon Sadiq 23, Caden Proctor 24, Cassius Howell 25, Lenora Sellers 26, Caden McDonald 27, Avarian Terrell at 28, Caleb Lomu at 29, Kevin Concepcion at 30, Chris Bell 31, Mateo Ingele 32. This is not at all what the draft's going to be like. I've never done this before. This was fun. I already know I'm going to get hate in the comments for it. I don't really care. That was actually a lot of fun. I like doing that. That is all I have for you guys tonight. I thought this would be a little fun thing as the season's coming to a close and we're getting close to to the draft in a couple months. I guess we're not getting close, but we're getting close to like the combine and stuff when the season's over. So maybe I'll do it again sometime. If you guys like it, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below if you want me to see it. Do it again. If you guys don't, I won't do it again. But if the video does well, I'll do it again. So remember, hit subscribe. We are like blowing up right now. Let's try to get to 60 subs before. I said before the playoffs start, let's do it before conference championship. We need 7 more. Hit the subscribe button. We are 7 subs away from 60. We'll try to get there before the end of the week. I will see you guys all tomorrow for Ohio State versus Indiana and Alabama versus Georgia. My predictions on both of those games. I will see you guys all then, and thank you.